revolutions in both the countries. The third agreement was on bilateral cultural exchange. This covers exchange of dance and music groups, artists, writers, and holding of film festivals. Mr. J. V. Raghavan, Secretary, Department of Culture, and the Chinese Vice Minister Culture signed this agreement. Mr. Gandhi later left for Shanxi province for a day's visit. He was given a warm welcome when he arrived there. The first place Mr. Gandhi visited was the famous Wild Goose Pagoda, situated in the great Xian Temple to the south of the city of Xi'an. The pagoda was built about 1300 years ago. It was meant to serve as a place for the renowned monk Chuan Chuang to translate Buddhist scriptures. The pagoda has 7 stories and is 64 meters high in the shape of a square pyramid.
On his way to India. He carries Buddhist scriptures on his back.
From there, Mr. Gandhi went to see the Shanxi Provincial Museum. The museum has 2,000 relics on display. The last place he visited was the Museum of Terracotta Warriors and Horses. In this place, there is an army of 1,000 warriors and their horses standing in battle formation, all made of clay. They have stood guard for over 2,000 years.
So in 1954, when your grandfather, I was also one of the leaders in China. I was vice premier at that time. So your mother was accompanying your grandfather on the visit. 是这样的。
We've been through a few difficulties in between, but I hope to bring things back and get over those difficulties.
So this is our common wish.
中间人一不愉快的，忘掉。
So in
非常高兴的见到您。
交朋友了啊，今年是交朋友。
So we are now old friends.
外交部长，这里也是阳光多一些，这是好的地方了，但是干燥。
Well, now we have a lot of sunshine during this time of the year. However, it is quite dry.
觉得口有点干吧？
So do you feel drying in your mouth?
哦。
不觉得。
The Prime Minister leaves Shanghai for home, having started the historic process of reconciliation with China. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi's 5-day visit ends with an air of guarded optimism and hope. Mr. Gandhi, rounding off his tour addressing a banquet at Shanghai, said that India and China had much to gain through cooperation.
This visit has given us an opportunity to resume dialogue at the highest level. This dialogue had remained suspended for much too long. India, while it looks for development, feels the need for a new political order based on the Panchsheel or the 5 principles of coexistence, as you call it. We are looking for a new economic order, which is more just and equitable.
In the words of a senior minister, the Prime Minister's visit was an unqualified success. The large crowds that turned out to see the Prime Minister at Shanghai portrayed the general public mood of friendship. The Prime Minister left Shanghai in the afternoon, seen off by senior Chinese party leaders and officials. The absence of extreme protocol symbolized the easing of relationships between the two countries. Earlier in the day, the Prime Minister visited the Malu township near Shanghai. The township is a model of planned rural development with utilization of local resources and labor. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi's visit, the first by an Indian Prime Minister after a long chilly winter of nearly 3 decades, heralds the onset of a new spring, one with flowers of Sino-Indian cooperation blooming.
After high-level political deliberations, he was talking to newsmen at the airport in New Delhi on his return from China. He said the group will work within a time frame. Answering a question, he said, The time frame will be decided after the group meets. India has not suggested any time limit.
Welcome home. Mr. Prime Minister.
चीन का जो पोजीशन है, हमारा जो पोजीशन है, वो भी जानते हैं, हम भी जानते हैं। लेकिन खाली पोजीशन बनाने से कोई आगे बढ़ नहीं सकता है। इसीलिए हमने कहा है कि ये बातें आगे बढ़ाने के लिए एक जॉइंट वर्किंग कमेटी एक जॉइंट वर्किंग ग्रुप होनी चाहिए और ये म्यूचुअल एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी और फेयर एंड रीजनेबल सेटलमेंट के लिए काम करेगी।
What's your impression about China? Second, how do you assess the outcome of your visit?
Well, let me first say that I want to thank the Chinese leadership and the Chinese people for the welcome that they gave. The talks that I had with Chairman Deng Xiaoping, with General Secretary Zhao Ziyang, with Vice President Yang, with Prime Minister Li Peng, all were very good, and I believe that this visit will be a new beginning for the two countries.
I want to ask you about the scope and functioning of the joint group.
The joint group is a joint group of both sides. It has a specific mandate, and the joint group is going to meet after the highest level political exchanges. So we expect the joint group to deliver results to us. We are asking the joint group to work out their own functioning. It will also ensure peace and tranquility on the border. That means if there are any problems or tensions building up, they will also be responsible for that.
To find an overall solution of the border issue within a definite time frame. The historic decision was taken in Beijing yesterday morning after an unscheduled meeting between the two prime ministers. It was decided to set up a joint working group on the border issue. It will be chaired by the Indian Foreign Secretary and the Chinese Vice Foreign Minister. The working group is expected to become functional soon. Besides making concrete recommendations for an overall solution of the border issue, it will work for maintaining peace and tranquility in border areas. The results of the talks that Mr. Gandhi had with the Chinese leaders, we have this report from London.
There was the question of Arunachal was never raised this time, and it has been a very difficult question. Shall we take it that this question has been solved and will not be raised again? What is your impression?
We didn't talk about the nitty-gritty about any part of the border because we were talking about basic concepts on how to deal with the problem of the border areas.
Can we count on you for a new initiative in regard to Pakistan too?
Well, let me say that I'm looking forward very much to meeting and talking with Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto. We believe that on the basis of the Simla Agreement, a lot can be done between the two countries. There have been suggestions that I should stay there longer, various things, but there's a tremendous constraint, time constraint with elections, with other things happening here. I don't know how much time I would be able to spend extra this time. But we have got fairly long talks with the Prime Minister of Pakistan on the agenda, and I hope that will bring about a new understanding certainly between the two countries.
Just sir, during your visit to Pakistan, how would you like to see that the terrorism in Punjab that problem would be solved?
This is one of the things that we will be talking to the Pakistan Prime Minister about. She has indicated that she is not for any Pakistani involvement in Punjab.
Prime Minister, could you tell us about your assessment of Pakistan's nuclear program and the issues or concerns that it raises for us?
Well, this is one of the more serious questions that we have to tackle with Pakistan. Minister Benazir Bhutto has said that she does not have a nuclear weapon program. I have no reason to disbelieve her. At the same time, we have got informations coming that indicate that they do have a program and that it's fairly advanced. I'll be talking to her about these things. Wouldn't be right of me to preempt our discussions.
Which ensures the relationship of good neighbor. As you had asked me years. Now, as I was mentioning, the invitation you have